Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Easy Drawings and welcome. Today we're going to go over how to draw, we're going to continue this series on how to draw Spawn. And I'm going to go over how to draw Spawn's face but with no mask on. And there's two kind of looks I remember him really well with that he went through the comic. One is kind of when he was just undead, you know, for the first, I don't know, I forget how many issues, like 20, 30 issues, 40. He had this kind of undead look, but he had kind of a face there. He had even lips. He kind of looked like Deadpool-ish a little bit. Didn't really have much of a nose, but you know, he had something there. And then there's this. I'm gonna go over the other look, where the other look would be like just a nasty look, and I forget what they call him. I think the slang term for both of them was hamburger spawn, right? They call it hamburger spawn. So let's get into the less screwed up one. And I'm going to be using these microns, by the way. Well, it's a Pigma brush and a Pigma Micron 08. That's what I'm going to use at the moment. And I'm going to use this regular pencil. This is just a number 2 pencil I picked up. So, got a circle for the head here. Still got a semblance of a jaw. I can't remember if he had an ear or not. I believe he had... God, did he have an ear? I can't remember if he had an ear. I think he had like a nasty, gross ear or something. So for now, I will put an ear, but I think it was like a hole or something. Eyeline. And he did always have those sharp eyes, even under, you know, like when you see Batman, he takes his mask off, he no longer has those sharp, triangular eyes. Spawn does. Let's split the head up into thirds. There's the hairline, which there's no hairline because he's got no hair, but it's kind of where the head turns, and you know, the front plane turns into the top plane, where it starts turning like that. That's kind of where I split the plane off. Right here are the eyes, and I'm just putting in placeholders. I'm drawing very light, and I'll really go over this stuff in ink. Oops, I put a nose there, but he really doesn't have a nose, really, so excuse me. Cheekbone and mouth area. Right now I'm just putting stuff for positioning, and I'm really going to talk about this stuff in ink. So let me talk about this in ink, actually. So right now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go find the eye. Very sharp eye. This eye's really kind of distinguish him from other characters. Go up into the forehead, pulling downward. Cheekbone. You remember he was burnt, so it's going to be gross looking, but I'm not going to throw all that stuff in quite yet until we talk about it. Tooth line there, muzzle. Angry. Starting with the broad stuff, I'm not starting with detail. That triangular line, like I said. That triangle stuff, I also like to put a thick line around it as well, because it's very much a point of focus. It's weird. It's almost like cartoony eyes trying to blend into like real life. Almost every instance you see him, he has a like a cape over here. That's how I'm gonna just throw the cape in. Should I throw the cape in? Yeah, let me throw the cape in. Just that's a triangle. Don't worry, there'll be a whole video on the cape itself, so let's not talk about that right now. Pull back top of his head. I gotta throw that other side of the cowl, whatever. Even it out. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Going in here, the mouth. And like I said, he still has some lips. He can still kind of move his mouth around. Let me erase some of this stuff here so I can get it out of the way. Because then I'm gonna go into the details of the face here of Hamburger Spawn here. Whew. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about like the texture and things of that sort. Right now I'm going to be using this. This is a excuse me. This is a Pentel Stylo. It's a really thin pen, maybe almost too thin for this. You don't really need it, but it lays down really well, really well. So one thing I'm thinking about is the burn marks in his head, and that was always kind of represented with these oblong, it's almost like these random circular shapes that you think are, like imagine them tattooed to a head. You know, they have to kind of match the contour of what they're laid on. So they're going to be on Spawn's forehead, you know, rolling over the forehead to the top of the head. So just kind of keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Don't just throw like flat, I don't know, over here. Don't throw just flat marks like that. Make sure they kind of curve a little bit because they're on the forehead. You know, repeating lines is kind of the key to all this stuff. You can put dots, repeating lines. He's got like again a burnt up, kind of fucked up, like screwed up face, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. You know, you can throw these little nick marks. Just remember the direction, the directional flow of it. That's the key really, and then you can kind of put anything within that. So like, see, this is kind of wrapping around the cheekbone. Keep it all going in that direction of the form itself. And don't make it too stagnant. You're gonna have to kind of vary up the shapes. It's not gonna be the same. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. And I'll go maybe a few more tips on that in a bit. Right now what I'm going to do is going to speed it up because I'm just going to be doing little nick marks for a while. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, you know, for your amusement. And then I'll talk about it afterward.
Yeah, so this is all Dan Flores. This is, he advocates the possibility, not advocates, but he...
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you a little bit what I've been doing. Let me zoom in. So basically, I try to reserve the darks toward the bottom under the neck here and over here along the zygomatic arch, which is that cheekbone, and right here in the eyes because I wanted the concentration of, the focal point to be here. These I kind of cross-hatched the little burn marks, kind of withered them out a little bit. I put a little bit of hair here, normally where hair was. I'm just putting it on his face for no reason. And a lot of these little nick marks are directional, so kind of remember that. And I mean, that's pretty decent for right now. And I'm going to leave this one as is, this hamburger spawn. This, I think he might even have a little nasal cavity here. The next one is straight up like a skull almost. And I'm going to go over that right now. Okay, so let's get into the next one. The next one's going to be almost like, it's just him in a more decayed form. And teeth are all, his teeth are, basically he definitely has no lips. Right here, his tooth line, his teeth are all sticking out, really. It's almost like inhuman jaw kind of thing. He looks meaner, just straight up meaner, because he's missing most of his stuff here. And this is just the pencil line I'm doing. I'm placing stuff for the eyes. And I'll put a little bit of a cape here too, just to kind of be consistent. Excuse me. So I'm going to go with a Micron 08, and I will do the same sort of thing I did before. Camera cut out a little bit. So let's get back into it. It's got the brow, and you got the skull up here. Pulls down, cheekbone. And he's pretty close to more skull than man at some point. It's pretty wild. There's his little nasty stuff hanging out. Alrighty. I'm gonna throw this same thing. Just throwing this cape to kind of identify who this is. Otherwise, you can be like, oh, it's just a skull head guy. So I'm gonna erase the pencil lines here. Have you ever seen Todd McFarlane's documentary? It's pretty freaking awesome. I forget what it was. I saw the one like from a few years ago. It's so strange. It was pretty awesome. He's an awesome dude. When he did the McFarlane toys, and that got really famous, and he's like uber rich. It's pretty cool. Excuse me. Anyways, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Wow. Anyway, I'm gonna speed it up, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of the kind of lines I was talking about from before. It's gonna be a little bit different, but I will talk about it afterwards. So let's get into it. Okay, that's pretty much it. I kind of like, as you can tell, this is like a lot. I would say like grungier than that one. He's also, like I said, more skull-like. A lot of this is kind of thrown into shadow because it's there's not a lot of substance to this. His ears missing and all this other stuff. So a lot of that would be thrown into shadow a whole lot more than normal. He also looks pretty cool in the shadows because his eyes glow. And a lot of these nick marks that I'm throwing in there are directional cross-hatching. And I mean, I'll talk about it really quick. Hopefully this is big enough. Well, let me do it bigger. So, let me do it with a bigger pen as well. With the Micron. When I'm putting down lines in any of those forms, it's going to be with, let's say, the surface. So all those lines will be like these little nicks, these little lines. You're going to go with the surface of the form like I described over there. Same thing. Imagine like a sticker stuck to that form. That's the front of his forehead, goes straight down, and so on along his cheekbones, everything. So I'm thinking about that almost the entire time. And I'm throwing little dots every now and then. That's pretty much all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the direction when I do that, and that will help you immensely. So that's it. That's Hamburger Spawn, two different versions I remember really well that I think are still around. So, or mostly this guy's still around. And next video, I'm probably going to go over the cape or the accessories, the skulls, and obviously his body. I'll go through that as well. But I'm trying to take care of every little thing, then maybe kind of make like the body the last thing, because it's kind of like the entire enchilada, the whole thing. But we'll see how it goes. If you like the video, please, shoot me a like and share the video anywhere on social media, because that helps me immensely, guys. So that's about it. Thank you so much. If you want to see other videos, I have an official website. It is easythingstodraw.net. And there's some stuff there that's not on this channel. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.